Welcome. In this session, we will talk about some of the highlights from Yojana 2024 December edition. Now, the first talks about the demographic dividend of India. Now, India has a workforce which is shrinking in agriculture from nearly 48% to 25%, and this is expected by 2047. Also, in the meanwhile, we would see an increase in the working age group from 59% to 63%, and that would stabilize for the next 15 years. India aims to target as a third largest economy by 2047, what we say the period of Viksit Bharat, and a target of 30 trillion economy. Now, with this, we aim to have a per capita annual income of 8,18,000 per year. Now, with these statistics into figure, let's talk about some of the work statistics. So, the labor rate participation has increased from 57 to 60%. The worker population ratio increased from 56 to 58%, which is again a good indicator. If we focus on structural dimensions, with better education, health skills, labor productivity has increased. Both earning and employments have increased. Then the talking about the formalization of employment. So 90% of our employment is in informal sector, with 83 predominantly in the informal sector and aiming to increase towards formalization. So for that, social protection is required, increased labor productivity is required. Now, if we talk about informal sector, it's important to understand that it's mainly the private firms where the expansion for the informal sector takes place. And if there is a sustainable approach to incentivize exports, then definitely this informal sector could shift into a formal sector. Also, if the firms are smaller, there are micro units, they hinder the technical progress and it affects the growth and diversity. So the state's role is again important, and UP and Bihar are among the ones with highest young population and having best economic opportunities. Also, we have labor intensive sectors which are limited in the regions of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and there has to be opportunities in these areas. So, PM internship is one such a scheme which provides internship in top 500 companies with nearly 1 crore opportunities. The next is science and technological development. With the help of AI and global competitiveness, we have seen a transformation that can be achieved through innovative self powered smart windows for infrastructure, energy efficiency, and sustainability. Then there is a PAIR program, which is Partnership for Accelerated Innovation and Research to transform innovation in universities in India. For this, top 25 NIRF ranked institutes and institutes of national importance within top 50 have been taken into account. Now, some of the works include developments in the field of science, technology, innovation. India in the past 5 years has surpassed UK, Germany, and Japan in terms of annual scientific publications. Atomic clocks with Doppler-driven quantum magnetoscopy has been important. India is third globally in terms of PhD being awarded in science and engineering after US and China. And then we have been navigating sustainability through e-mobility, green hydrogen, nuclear energy, photovoltaics, solar cells as some of those. If we focus on the strategy, it's mainly for the short term AI, telecommunication, semiconductors; for long term quantum computing, bio manufacturing, and advanced materials for green technology, among the some. Then you have bio E3 policy, which is biotechnology for economy, employment, and environment, and this aims to provide high performance biomanufacturing. Now, for this, bio based food, precision biochemicals, therapeutics, marine and space research, climate resilient agriculture are some of those. If we talk about the hub of knowledge, India aims to have nearly 5 trillion GDP by 2025 and have a significant progress in science and technology. So, as you can see, after US, China, Germany, Japan, we have fifth with India. UK, France, Brazil have been behind India, and programs like Digital India, Startup India are some of these to boost the development in this segment. Make in India with 3D printing, 5G, AI, IoTs are some of the developments. Patents, which were somewhere only at around 3,000 in 2019, have increased to 300 million patients served by using eSanjeevani. So, there has been a significant transformation in the use of digital technologies. Similarly, we have Nidhi and Birak. Nidhi is the national initiative for developing and harnessing innovations, and Birak is the Biotechnology Industry Research Assistance Council. Both of these have been working for academic and industry support. Then, for technology, we have seen the gross expenditure on research and development doubled in the last few years and decades, higher proportion for accounting. Digital technology must include social inclusion, health and family welfare, education and empowerment. Talking about newer technologies, cyber physical systems, quantum mechanism, supercomputing, robotics are some of them, and Param Shiva computers are among the others. Now, Akra and Arinak are the two important supercomputers which have been recently brought into existence. Now, talking about the Atmanirbhar Bharat in defense, we have seen 77% growth in defense exports. Vaccine Metri has been one of India's program where India has been among the top exporters for PPE kits, masks, and hand sanitizers. India's relation with the neighboring nations like Pakistan, Maldives have increased with the advent of Trump presidency. India aims to navigate issues of renewed focus on tariffs for Indian export to United States. Similarly, we have been talking about another program known as Tarang Shakti. Now, this talks about maritime strength of India and the operational coordination among the friendly foreign countries. For this, the deployment of various strategic assets under the CONOPS scheme has been important. Some of the assets include the Super Hornets, French Rafale, European Typhoons among these. Now, also, if we talk about the geographical developmental intersections, we have five key elements which focus on military, polity, economy, social, and environmental sustainability. And India, being the first responder and preferred security partner worldwide, have been among the major ones. The next is the sickle cell anemia. Now, the sickle cell anemia is a disease where nearly 3 lakh babies are being affected with severe hemoglobin disorders because of the sickle shaped cells, and these have a life of nearly 30 to 40 days in contrast to normal RBC with 120 days. Under the scheme of National Sickle Cell Anemia Elimination Program, which was released from Shardol, this aims to make India free of sickle cell anemia. Now, sickle cell anemia is a genetic condition mainly seen in tribals but in non-tribals as well. But here, in the normal RBC, there is a biconcave shape, lack of nucleus, and flexible shape. However, sickle cell cells are rigid. They are sickle shaped and they pass through the small blood vessels, causing blockage, which may lead to organ damages in certain cases. So, a normal cell would have 2 alpha globulin and 2 beta globulin. However, a sickle cell would have a mutation in the beta globulin and only one beta globulin is affected, then it is a trait. If both are affected, then it turns out to be disease. Similarly, there could be one gene from sickle cell anemia, the other from beta thalassemia, and then this could be a very rare and severe form of hemoglobinopathy which could be resulted from it. The symptoms include anemia, pain, swelling of limbs, frequent infections, delayed growth, and vision problems. And some of the identification includes hand-foot syndrome, acute chest syndrome, difficulty in breathing, reduced vision because the blood vessels to the eyes are being affected, and strokes. Then the pathology is significant. There has been significant blockage for the same. The global prevalence is important. 5 lakh children are born with sickle cell disease, with 3/4 in sub-Saharan Africa, and 80 lakh people globally living with this disease. The mortality burden is extremely high, under 5. And then there has been this elimination program that we have been working forward for India. The next one that we would understand is India's agriculture and future. So we are planning to prepare an agriculture for profitability, productivity and sustainability through a 6-point strategy which focuses on inclusive growth. Now this talks about allocation for agricultural research, animal husbandry, increase in the food grain production, fruit production, vegetable production, and providing proper MSP support. Also, we are talking about a digital agriculture mission, maintaining the natural resource management. Now, exports and imports mainly include onion, basmati rice, edible oil, and then for a good agri export quality, we need to focus on some of the schemes like sovereign green bonds, Mishti scheme, green credit programs, which have been significantly important. Also, for electricity, there is a scheme which is known as Surya Graha. This talks about Muft Bijli, free electricity, reduced cost of electricity, renewable electricity, and reduction in carbon emissions. Solar Park scheme in 2014 has been released, and this talks about extensively establishing solar parks and the schemes for the same. EcoMark is a scheme for Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, replacing the rules of 1991 under 2024. And this talks about labeling the products that benefit the environment. It could be a product from range of goods from soaps, detergents, paints, food products, and BSI mark have been important for EcoMark. So this is a EcoMark, which is a combination of ISI and an Eco logo. The next is Param Rudra supercomputers. Now these have been developed by CDAC for high performance supercomputing. Now named after the avatar of Shiva, Paramrudra is to tackle complex computational problems on scientific issues, and this has been a supercomputer built at a cost of nearly 130 crores. We have Arka and Arunika as another important ones. Now the another important program talk about the National Action Plan on Climate Change, where solar, water and green energy mission along with sustainable agriculture have been important. Energy Conservation Amendment Bill came in 2022, which talks about decarbonization and increasing energy efficiency in India, offering economic rewards and bringing in development. Long-term strategy for net zero by 2070 have been important, and this talks about low carbon development of electricity, urban adaptation, enhancing forest and carbon dioxide removal. Climate change through the mission life, that is lifestyle for environment, have been important. Then we are talking about various milestones for science and technology, focusing on India's national quantum mission being announced by the creation of thematic hubs in the leading institutions, creating innovative technology transfers with portable IoT water testing kits, protein rich high energy food, health focused soft drinks, electric tractor technology, vegan leather development, energy management systems as some of those two sides. And then there are a list of developments that could be noble developments in the same regard, which could be brought into account. Similarly, we have schemes for promotion of science through Vigyan Dhara. Now here, three important steps have been taken: institutional and human capacity building, R&D, and then innovation and technological development. So Women in Space is another important program through the Women in Space Leadership WISEP program and UK India Education Research Initiative for gender inclusive practices to empower women in space sciences. So Rashtriya Vigyan Puraskar has been awarded under Vigyan Ratna, Vigyan Shri, Vigyan Yuva Shanti, Swarup Bhatnagar and Vigyan team. Now these have been a sequential order, and February 28 is celebrated as National Science Day, 11th May as National Technology Day, 23rd August as National Space Day. So those are some of the developments. Then Under the space, we are now also focusing on a specific segment, space biotechnology, where we have nearly $300 billion bioeconomy, which has been focused for microgravity research, space biotechnology, and bioastronautics. Similarly, BioRide is an effort by Department of Biotechnology focusing on biomanufacturing and biofoundry along with biotechnology. Now, this talks about accelerating research, healthcare development, agriculture, bioenergy, and sustainability. So, this Bio E3 policy we have been working forward for development and expansion of skill and sustainable and innovative future. Pair initiative we already talked as part of new education policy, and then we have Phenome India project. Now, this talks about India's longitudinal study on diseases like diabetes, hypertension, cardiovascular problems, and talking about the aims and the risk, collection of data for the same, and a dynamic ecosystem to prevent these issues into existence. So those were some of the important developments that we have covered under Yojana this edition. In case you have any questions or queries, feel free to connect back, and the handouts for the same would be available at Examrace current affairs section. So don't miss. Thanks for joining in. Have a wonderful day.